Your Uncle Cycling Highlights knows a lot of things. We'd already told you that Mark Hirschi was going to fly in this part of the season. That was just a few videos ago. And now you've seen him, winner of the San Sebastian Classic, his first major victory in 4 years. We also brought you a world exclusive on the relationship between Dr. Marcos Maynard and the sports director of the Sabgal Anicolor team, Ruben Tiago Alves Pereira. He received metotropin prescribed by the Spanish doctor. We promised you a second part, and here it is. Now we'll show you the true reality of Sabgal Anicolor and Ruben Tiago Alves Pereira in a new world exclusive. This is a team capable of doing anything to win the Volta Portugal, including lining up a rider who should really have been at home. Stay until the end of the video and subscribe to the channel if you want more unique and exclusive cycling content. First of all, we want to put into context some of the characters that make up this story. Its main protagonist is Ruben Tiago Alves Pereira, whom we already unmasked with respect to his relationship with Dr. Maynard. Now, just as the infamous doped masterclass cyclist and director of doped cyclists, Manuel Zeferino, did, the young Portuguese sports director contacted the Spanish doctor, who then prescribed metotropin for his riders. And then he was asked for special training plans for 3 cyclists. This was in 2022. There was Mauricio Moreira, Frederico Figueiredo, and Luis Mendonça. Now, this strategy has usually been used by teams where Dr. Maynard has worked, such as Manuel Zeferino's Maya or Vicente Valdevicedo's Comunidad Valenciana, formerly Kelme. That is, there is no single leader in the team, preferring instead to have several well-prepared cyclists, and so if one fails, let's say Mauricio Moreira, there's another well-prepared cyclist in top form. It's a masterclass in preparation Zeferino style, something which neither Johan Brunil or friend of the channel Biana Rees have ever done as directors. But it's a great strategy if you want to try to win the Volta Portugal, and it certainly worked in 2024. It wasn't a bad Volta Portugal 2024 for the Sabgal Anicolor guys at all. While Mauricio Moreira fainted and couldn't repeat his 2022 victory when he was coached by Dr. Maynard himself, his domestique without a nationality, Artem Nych, a guy almost 2 meters tall and whose only prestigious victory before this Volta Portugal was some Russian national championships when he rode for Gazprom, well, he swept to 2 stage wins and the final overall classification. Tremendous successes and celebrations at Ruben Tiago Alves Pereira's hotel with his influential dad, Carlos Manuel de Jesus Pereira. The main goal of the season had been fulfilled, a fresh victory in the most important race of the country, and this only 2 years after paying €17,000 to Dr. Maynard for his services. Obviously, Artem Nich's victory is also the victory of his teammates, hard-working men who gave their best for their new and somewhat surprising leader to win the Volta Portugal. But, as I told you, one of those domestiques should really have stayed at home instead of racing. Why is that, Uncle, I hear you ask? Well, there were problems in the biological passport tests prior to the Volta Portugal 2024. And worst of all, with the team and its directors probably knowing all about it. After all, today there's a rumour that's spread throughout the Portuguese peloton and has reached a channel like ours. So surely Ruben Tiago Alves Pereira should have known all about it and left the rider at home, pending resolution by the Portuguese anti-doping agency. Now, if he did know all about it, he's undoubtedly the great culprit of this situation, because, let's remember, the cyclists are simple employees of the company Full Racing. They're the ones that tell the cyclist that he must compete, despite the fact that this information already collected by the Portuguese authorities could reach the press or channels like ours through our well-informed Portuguese sources. We're talking here about Frederico Figueiredo, a 33-year-old climber whose biological passport result prior to the Volta Portugal 2024 is so suspicious that he's already awaiting sanction by the Portuguese anti-doping agency. More world-exclusive news brought to you by your Uncle Cycling Highlights. He's a cyclist whose arrival at the full racing structure is closely linked to that of Ruben Pereira. Both appeared in the team simultaneously in 2021 until this year of 2024, where Frederico's contract expired. Precisely then, approaching the age of 30, Figueredo began to shine in Pereira's team, and in 2022 he managed to win the Joaquim Agostinho Trophy, combining it with a brilliant second-place finish in the Volta Portugal behind his teammate Moreira. That was a year where Dr. Maynard prepared Figueredo personally, as well as the team for the Volta Portugal. Such care and dedication in exchange for €12,000 fixed, plus performance bonuses. For 2024, Figueredo took a more low-cost role in the Sabgal Anicolor set. Obviously being suspected by the Portuguese anti-doping agency made them not want to burst any pelotons wide open. But still, he was a very important domestique in the mountains for Artem Nych, and he was able to finish in the top 20 overall in that Volta Portugal. And it doesn't just end there, but yesterday, only yesterday, Frederico Figueiredo returned to participate in an official competition with the Dane, because you know, there's always a Dane, Julius Johansson, in the Memorial Hermanos Ochoa de Guecho. Let us say again, if this channel knows that Figueiredo is in trouble, and the rumours in the Portuguese peloton are so numerous, how can the director, Ruben Pereira, not know? Is he unaware that if Figueiredo had won that race, he would have been marked for life? Or is he simply flying a defiant flag in front of the authorities to show that he is the alpha male of the Portuguese directors, under the protecting wing of his daddy's money? One day, we will find out. Usually, the sanction for violations in the biological passport is 4 years. So we can assume that, with his contract coming to an end and all these problems in his biological passport, Figueiredo's cycling career is practically over. But don't worry, your uncle's cycling highlights will always love you, and if you want to tell us your experiences in professional cycling, well, the team at this channel is at your disposal and listening for every word. On the other hand, we know that you have been trained by Dr. Marcos Maynard, and he is a fervent hater of the biological passport, that method of doping detection which, according to him, can be overturned by ordinary justice. As of course, it is not a sample of pee or blood taken directly from the cyclist. Changes in hematological data in the passport can perhaps indicate pregnancy, although that won't happen with Figueiredo, or even diseases such as hypothyroidism, as happened to Roman Kreuziger. No, the wise Spanish professor is not without reason. His lawyer friend, José Rodriguez, former cyclist of the Kelme team, close friend of Vicente Beldavicedo, and who already defended Piti Valverde or the athlete Marta Dominguez unsuccessfully, well, he managed to persuade a court that the sanction to the cyclist Ibai Salas of the Burgos team for anomalies in the biological passport was flawed, and that cyclist without victories can now claim more than €300,000. Look on the bright side, Frederico. You can even get rich if you listen to the contacts of your favourite Dr. Maynard. The contacts including a lawyer who said that Jesus Manzano was lying, a lawyer who said that Piti Valverde had been wrongly sanctioned. Now, Sabgal Anicolor, sponsor of the full racing squad until the end of 2025, we can only imagine that they are exceptionally proud of their director Ruben Tiago Alves Pereira and his brilliant, insightful decisions to contact Dr. Maynard in 2021 and 2022, lining up a rider with biological passport problems for the 2024 Volta Portugal. Genius, whether he did it knowingly or unknowingly. And it's worth remembering that it's not always principally the cyclist's fault. Yes, it's their names that get in the press, but behind all that, there are characters that can harm their careers. This is cycling, in the second division of the UCI, the Pro Continentals, the division that Selfie Le Partillon is so proud of. Let's see if he takes a selfie when he goes to Portugal, or if instead he prefers to continue visiting Arab sheikhs and developing countries to fill his pockets with ever more money. Meanwhile, check out that video on the screen. You will love it.